Hi everyone, welcome to MetalNet TV. My name is Sarah, and today I am thrilled to bring you Chuck Garric of Alice Cooper and Beasto Blanco. So today we are going to be talking to Chuck about Beasto Blanco, and if we have time, we're going to be talking to him about a whole lot more. So make sure you give this video some love by giving it a thumbs up. Make sure you follow and subscribe to MetalNet TV here on YouTube, as well as on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And always leave a really nice comment for me and my guests. Here we go. Hey Chuck, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you on, and I have a lot of questions for you. But I'm really excited about what's happening with Beasto Blanco, or what's about to happen with Beasto Blanco. So we're gonna like really dig in on that today.
All right.
Um, let's start with I would love to know what inspired you. You've been playing for a while. You play with these legendary, like iconic people, and then you have this moment in time where you decide you want to do like your own thing and this incredible thing called Beasto Blanco. So what inspired that and why in that moment?
Well, I mean, Visto's been around, I think, since 2013. And like any artist, I mean, you find yourself constantly writing and creating and visualizing what you would want to do on stage. I think since I was a little kid and started picking up the instrument, I always loved being in bands. So um, Beasto is just a way for me to sort of branch out and be just have things, just letting my art come out, letting the band's, creativity come out. And, I've been playing with Alice for over 20 years. I played with Ronnie James Dio before that. And I've experienced a lot. And in the meantime, I've backed up a lot of different artists, a lot of, people I grew up listening to. And I just feel like it's important and it's fun for us all to just have creative outlets. So that's what Beasto is to me. It's become something that is become a very creative force, and it's starting to gain a lot of momentum. People are starting to really recognize the power of Beasto, and now it's starting to get real fun.
Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned that because I've obviously been aware of you for a very long time through Alice Cooper, but the truth is I didn't really dig in to Beasto till recently, which is why you've seen me like crazily posting
Yeah.
Beasto Blanco stuff. And for me, it was like I just got like pulled into this like raw, pure energy vortex thing. And it was like incredible. And it really reminded me of like when I've been a music fan since I was very little, long before I
Right.
discovered metal or rock. But there
Uh,
was a moment where I discovered sort of that first kind of metal band, and it really changed it. It wasn't just, oh, I love music. It was like, I want to be a part of this. And really, this reminds me of that. Like when I really kind of got into you, it reminds me of that like first band feeling, first concert energy and that. So I am like really pumped about you guys. And,
Thanks.
I have older albums, that you've had, like you said, you've been around for a while. It's not like you're a new
Yeah,
band, but you also you seem to be having almost like a new beginning or a new birth.
I feel that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some stuff that's been shifting and making it, kind of bringing it kind of full circle, if you will.
Mhm.
And it's really exciting watching the growth of this band and the stage show, the fans growing, the whole thing. It's just been a real organic process, but at the same time, we're really passionate about music as well and bands. So we all have that sort of energy that happens when we create Beasto. We always think of our fans when we create a show or a song or tour or whatever. Our fans are um, always thought of, you know.
Yeah. Now, before we dig into the new, because I think there's a lot to talk about with the new, and I don't know how much you can share and how much you can't, but I'm going to try to get something out of you. But before we even get there, with MetalNet, there are a lot of people who are really passionate about, my guest and will tune in, a lot of Chuck fans, but there's also a lot of people who are going to be new to the artists that I
Yeah.
interview. So just to give them a little background. So Beasto Blanco started a little over a decade ago.
Right.
And I know that obviously one of the people in Beasto Blanco is Calico Cooper.
Right.
And I read something, or I've seen a few things that I thought were really interesting, in that when you first approached her, she wasn't like gung ho right away. And I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's Calico's take on it was that she was into acting and performing, and when I met Calico, she was, part of the theatrical show of Alice Cooper. Um, we became really close friends immediately, and I just kind of always noticed from the outside this person who just had a lot of different talents, and she was very, very passionate about things. And when you kind of pitched an idea, or not even pitched an idea, just talked about something, she had a very lean into kind of attitude about stuff. And she had some interesting opinions about music and art, and what it's like to be on stage. And plus, just watching her kind of develop these characters and have this fearless attitude and turning it into something that basically was just an idea into this cool character on stage, into this creation. So I always thought, wow, it would be interesting to see what she could do behind the microphone, and if she would be interested in singing and being in a band and that kind of things. But it wasn't until I found something that I felt, oh, this is where it would be interesting to get her viewpoint, get her take on it. So Calico came in to sing backgrounds on some of the stuff in on the first record. I had this vision of there being, because I knew I was going to be playing guitar and singing, and I was concerned about there not being what I really was seeing was this full show going on. Just I wanted people's eyes everywhere. I wanted there to be a lot for somebody to take in. I wanted it sonically visual. I wanted it, sonically pleasing. I wanted it visually pleasing. So I figured, to me, it was like I needed a theatrical element. But I also just didn't want to have somebody up there on stage, um, just doing theatrical things. I wanted another artist. I wanted another musician. I don't think really Calico thought of herself as a singer at that time. She could sing, but she didn't really have any interest in being in a band necessarily, only because I just think she really wasn't approached. She would sing and have fun, but she really wasn't like, hey, we're going to do this thing together seriously enough to where I was like pushing her enough to go, hey, we're going to go on tour. We're going to go see what this thing is all about. And where we started, and where we are now is just been this amazing, period of growth and trying new things. I think Calico and I both were kind of going into this thing with not a lot of experience. I was not a guy playing guitar and singing, fronting an entire band the whole time, and nor was she a front person singing either. So we both were learning together at the same time. It was sort of this real good, fun little parallel growth period, and looking at each other and going, well, that didn't work, or hey, that was pretty cool. Let's continue to do that. But we never really wrote anything down. We just talked about how the show would flow and what songs would happen and what would maybe happen in between songs. But during the songs, there's been a lot of just sort of aha moments and electrical light bulb moments that just come on when we're just there. It's the energy is there and our chemistry is there. There's a lot of trust between each other on stage, and she can lean on me, and I can lean on her as well to, always, make sure that we have what we need to make the vision happen, and to, support each other to make sure we get through the song together,
And what I thought was really interesting is that I had heard you say, and I think I've heard Calico say this too, is that when she first came in, you were thinking maybe backup singer, but as you guys started to work together, it was clear that there was really just a lot there with both your voices and your energy and the way you were working.
Yeah, I was actually surprised with what Calico was capable just on singing the backgrounds on the first record. And I remember feeling like, damn it, I wish I would have written more songs for her to be part of, And so you can hear it happen from the Live Fast Die Loud record to the self-titled Beasto Blanco record to We Are. The collaboration, the more songs Calico was singing, the more songs we would sing together. So you hear it, you hear the growth happening. You can see it, you can hear it. It's all right there. It's not just some story I'm telling you.
Yeah. And you also mentioned that obviously many people know you as a bass player, but in this band you are the singer and one of the guitarists.
Yeah.
What made you, was it sort of the obvious, like I'm gonna head this band, I want to be the lead singer, or were there other reasons you chose, let's say, guitar and singing versus maybe bass and singing, or just bass?
Yeah, no, I never looked at Beasto Blanco as I want to be the lead singer, or I want to be the guitar player. I wanted it to be a band full of people that all had qualities that were going to be used.
Mhm.
So I lean on everybody in that band, and I have everybody in that band because there's things in that they all bring to the table that are unique to Beasto. And I don't want to be the center of attention. I want Beasto Blanco to be the center of attention. I want the music to speak. I want the band to be as a whole. I don't want it to be focusing on one person. I never did. The only reason why I picked up guitar and started singing was just to free myself up a little bit. Playing bass and singing was something I initially I would have been great at it, no problem. Playing bass, no problem. It would have just been very easy for me to do that, but I had to make it a little bit more challenging for myself and started playing guitar. And at times I still, to this day, I'm like, why did I do that? It's such a different instrument, but it's made me a better musician. And it does give us the ability it does free me up a little bit, which is nice.
Yeah. Had you been playing guitar long when you started playing in Beasto?
Not really. Mostly, to be quite honest with you, I wrote everything with Beasto on bass and guitar, and I wrote everything kind of acoustically. Or if I did write it with guitar, it was just sort of just to kind of get the riff idea across or the chord structure, and then I would let Brother Latham or whoever was the producer sort of kind of come in. But so a lot of times, like on the first record, it's all the songs I had written on guitar, but it was Chris that played the guitar parts,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
There was something really cool that you said about Beasto Blanco, and there was something about Beasto Blanco that I wanted it to have this wild unpredictability about it. I didn't want it to be real thought out and perfect. And I
Yeah.
feel like that really sums up Beasto Blanco, but the thing is, it does come together beautifully. I mean, it's not, you could take that the wrong way and think, oh God, it's a big old mess. They're just going out there and jamming. And that's not the case. The band is very much a band and has its sound. How did you approach that?
Because it's going to happen anyway. I don't want to overthink the things and miss on moments that could be great, because you go, okay, we got to do this, 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 and this. Mm-hmm. Then you miss out on all the art. You miss out on all the freedom. You miss out on things, especially like Calico and Brother Latham, where like they have moments where you're just like, if I would have written down the script and said, this is what we're doing, then those moments would have never happened. Calico would have never had the chance to become the character she is now on stage. She would have never had that confidence to try this stuff because everything would have been written out for her. Same for me. I wasn't looking for anything perfect because rock and roll is not perfect. And if it is, it's boring. I don't like that. I like there to be danger. There needs to be something at any particular moment that could go wrong. You don't want to miss it, because it is a live performance. That is rock and roll. That's who I grew up listening to. I love those type of bands. I love that type of energy, and it just makes it more exciting. Now, the perfection is just going to come by doing tours and doing shows. You start to hone in your craft. You hone in who you are. Then those perfections come, and then it just becomes less perfect and more just seamless, and it just has a flow to it.
How about capturing that wild unpredictability like in the studio? So let's say first album, you just wrote the songs, you maybe haven't toured them that much. It's still new and raw. By the way, first albums are pretty much always my favorite because exactly what you said, they're not perfect usually. You don't have a lot of time to do that. But in general, in the first album, and then as time has progressed, how do you capture and keep that raw energy while you're in the studio?
Well, you just sort of what you try to do in the studio is you try to remember what was happening to you live. Mm-hmm. What is the set missing after the first record? You go, okay, we got the set from this one album. What was missing? Oh, okay, so we write a song like Grind. We wrote a song like Damnation, because these tunes, Machine Girl, we needed we needed these holes. There was just a little bit of holes that needed to be filled. And then the same thing goes, and it just progresses. And you just try to, for us, it's just constantly trying to write great songs and also trying new things, and adding different tempos and different flavors to the albums. I mean, you'll listen to wait till you hear the next record. You're not even gonna, it's gonna blow your mind, because it's seriously like if you were to put all the 3 records together, and it's just, you're gonna love it, because
That's
it's
amazing.
just so good, and it's just song after song after song of just, and just, you just hear this band just getting better and better.
That's amazing. All right, so let's just go there. Let's talk about the new music. So, in the sort of press release, I guess we'll call it, I don't know if it was an official press release or what, but you talked about how you were pushed in all different musical directions on this
Yeah,
new album.
yeah,
Now, normally when I hear that, there's a teeny little part of me that's like, but I love what you've been doing.
of course.
Should I, as a fan who's completely embraced what's come before,
You should
be
be
worried?
very nervous. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna test your love for music. No, I'm kidding. I think what you need to be prepared for is, another child to come into the family in
Oh,
a way. You
okay.
don't know what this kid's gonna bring, but you know that you, as parents, have created this other child that's amazing, and you love everything about it. So now all of a sudden this new child comes in. So there's no deviation of Beasto.
Okay.
It's not going, but there are risks that we're taking
Okay.
that we have to always keep in mind, that there's more than just one fan out there. There's
Okay.
more than just one person's perception of the band. And not that we're trying to please everybody, but music and rock and roll is a wide open arena. There's so many things you can do with a song. There's so many different ways you can approach it. We still feel like we know who Beasto is, but there's so many different like influences in this band that it's fun to see where else we go with it. But it's all Beasto sounding. You'll be able to A/B them and hear it.
Okay.
We're also not afraid to test the waters. And I think it's going to be good for people like yourself to step outside of the Beasto world and be, for me personally, go like, wow, I love that other stuff. But you know what? This was something I wasn't expecting, and I love it.
That's awesome.
Because we all need to be that way. I mean, sure, we could always write the same record, and in a way we are, but we're branching out a little bit too.
I love it. This is a little exciting. So what I'm hearing is where, let's say your typical band has an evolution. They grow and they grow and they do new and different things. You're not abandoning who you've ever been, but you're allowing yourself the space to do this.
Yeah, why not?
On your timeline.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I feel like, if there's a formula, obviously. It's like Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the same movie. You know what's
Right.
going to happen. It's just a little bit tiny different story here and there, with different people involved. I think that's what Beasto is. It's still the same character from the beginning.
Right.
But as anything goes, I mean, if you think about it, what is Beasto Blanco? Well, Beasto Blanco is, to me, is sort of my spirit animal. He's the thing that I turn into when I'm on stage. It's the thing that I rely on. Well, just like anything in life, everything is constantly moving. You can stare at a mountain and not realize that mountain is moving. Things that are great and strong and powerful are always consistently moving. So I want to, move with that vibration, move with that artistic wave that's happening. I don't want to just be unwavering. I'm not moving. I'm not going to try anything new.
Right.
No, I want to grow. I think that I don't have time in my life to not try something new. And don't get me wrong, the songs that you're going to hear on this record are not just they're the only songs we picked. There was a lot of songs to choose from. But we were constantly trying new things and keeping in mind, what is Beasto Blanco?
So I have two follow-up questions to that. The first is, did you seek out somebody that could help you do this new musical direction, or did somebody come to you and say, listen, you guys are amazing, but
I'll tell you a great story. The thing with Beasto is we always have a plan. But sometimes we don't know how to execute it on our own. And not that we don't know how, just maybe the opportunity hasn't knocked on our door yet or whatever. So that's why we say yes to everything. And by doing that, we always go out. We have a great time on the road together. We have a great time on stage together. We're a very connected band. So what happened was just organically was we got offered to do some shows in Europe, in Germany specifically, with a band that is massive over there, bigger than anything you can ever put your finger on. They're huge, and they have a very solid fan base. So we were going to do an arena show and then 2 stadium gigs with them. Now we're talking 50,000 people at the stadium gigs. But I had a gentleman contact me from Germany who knew of Beasto and loved the band, came to see us live. This guy, he loved it so much, but he came in immediately and said, hey guys, you need to change your set list. You need to put this song, this song, this song, and this song in the place. You need to change the order of things, and this is how you need to open the show. And so Beasto, being who we are, we're like, okay, this guy's pretty passionate. I trust him. I've known him for a little while. We talked for a couple of weeks. He came and saw the show. I go, let's try it. What did we have to lose? And it was the best thing that ever happened to us. The next night was a big show. It was a better show because this audience was very, very pro the headliner. So as the next night progressed, we made the changes. So we had 3 nights, and he realized that he has a band that's paying attention, that's willing to try something new. And we realized we were in good hands with this guy because he was listening to our catalog. He knew and had a really good idea just naturally of what we should be doing from an outsider's, from a professional standpoint. And we've never had that before. So why not try it? It worked. And, his vision so far has been spot on.
that's fantastic. Now, I would imagine that would change a little something in the songwriting process or in the collaboration among the band. Did that change anything at all? Because you're not just going to sit and write what you would have written. You're being pushed in different directions. So how did that affect your songwriting?
It did. It's affected it for the better. I think, again, it's you hit the nail right on the head. It's collaboration. One of my favorite songwriters out there is a guy by the name of Marty Fredrickson, who wrote he's a Nashville songwriter, but he's written songs for Buck Cherry, Ozzy Osbourne, Aerosmith, Taylor Swift, Carrie Underwood. He's written songs for everybody.
Like a hit maker? Like a hit maker sort of guy?
Yeah, hit maker, just songwriter. He's written hits for sure, but he also just writes songs. He just did the Struts. He did, he's done everybody. But he's always said to me, it's collaboration. It's the collaboration that he loves so much. And that's what this record is. It's a collaboration of not only songwriters, but like-minded people.
I've heard you talk about really something really interesting about your songwriting is that you've collaborated with your wife. And that you have a really interesting process together. Would you mind sharing a little bit about that? Because I think that's really fascinating.
Yeah, Lindsay's an amazing lyricist. She's an amazing storyteller. She writes poetry, and she's just constantly has a book in her face. She's always reading, always very artistic, but she had a real solid vision of what Beasto was at an early stage of our role, where we were still trying to figure out who we were. She really helped develop that. I mean, she wrote the lyrics to Machine Girl and Grind and We Got This and things like that. I mean, she wrote practically all the lyrics on the second and third record. And on this upcoming album as well, she's written a majority of the lyrics, along with Calico, myself, and other songwriters. But we we just sort of found this. She just had this knack where she found this outlet, and at a very important stage in Beasto's life.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It sounds like your band inspires a lot of people. Like they hear you and they feel you, and then they want to like give back. Like your
Yeah.
wife heard you early
Yeah.
on and was like, this is how I could contribute, and then this producer and that sort of thing. But the fact that you guys are open to it is what's really, really impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we really try to work hard on that. I mean, Calico and I talk about that a lot. It's just like, hey, what do you think? And she's like, let's do it. Why not? Let's try it. So we don't say no to anything, but and that is sort of our motto. But in a way, we're saying yes to a lot of things that we know instantly will fit, or they're going to be worth a try.
Yeah. So what happens when that moment, because I imagine there's got to be a moment when you're that open-minded, right?
Mhm.
Where you just hear something and it just doesn't feel right. Are you guys on the same page now where you all kind of look at each other and go no, or does somebody sometimes have to be the bad guy and go, I need to stop this now?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's not the bad guy at all. It's just like, that didn't work. Okay, move on. We
Okay.
all know it. We all look at each other and go, no. That was a good try, but it's not going to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're open to the process, but you're not like a slave to it.
No, we've never had anything on our records or anything live where somebody was forced to do something.
Okay.
You
That's
know,
pretty
if anything, we all kind of look at each other and go,
cool.
what do you think of that? And they're like, I don't know. Everybody, we'll shoot each other straight,
Yeah.
And again, it's one of those things too, where if Calico does say something, she goes, no, trust me. I'm
Okay.
like, I'm in, let's go. I got you. Or same with her. I'm like, hey, this is what we're going to do. And I just need you to trust me. And then Calico will be like, okay, but what she'll do is, this is what I love about her, is I will have an idea and then Calico will go, great. And then when she does the idea, she's made it into her own thing.
Okay.
She's twisted it and turned it and done all these cool things to it to make it fit her character. And that's what's important about life. Instead of just saying, no, I don't know, I'm uncomfortable with that, I just can't. No, she'll be like either straight up no, which hardly has ever happened, or okay, cool. And then she'll turn it into something badass.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about what you're going to be giving us over the next few months slash 2024. We got singles coming in the next few months, right? Is
Yeah,
that
that's
still
the
on
goal.
track?
Huh?
Is that
Yeah,
still on
that's the
track?
goal. Yeah, we're gonna start giving away some singles, start releasing some singles and some other goodies and all that stuff.
Okay.
You'll get noticed. I mean, you'll get a notice about it. There'll be some sort of press release or something, I'm sure.
Okay. And
You'll,
are they going to have videos as you've done in the past?
I hope so.
Okay.
That's the goal. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
So you haven't filmed any yet?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
This is where you get a little less chatty, huh?
We got to keep some things a secret.
Yes, this is true. This is true. Well, I am excited about everything that is coming up. So definitely keep us in the loop. I got my eyes on you guys anyhow.
Yeah.
And we'll be sharing with everybody. And new merch and everything like that.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows what we'll come up with?
Come on,
Let me tell you something. We're not sitting idle. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not,
Good things are happening
we're
in the
Rolling
world.
Stones. We're constantly moving and shaking.
That's fantastic. All right. Well, we're all looking forward to the new Beasto music. We'll keep our eyes out. And so singles first and then a full-length album coming 2024.
Yeah, I think that's the plan. Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a couple other things that I've seen you experimenting with. I'm going to use that word until I learn more. And one of them is motorcycles. I've seen a lot of really cool reels of you. I'm going to call it tinkering, but I feel like you've gone way beyond tinkering at
Yeah,
this.
it's gotten
Building
crazy.
stuff. Like
Oh
you are
yeah,
building
no,
stuff. Yeah.
we're diving in deep at this point with it now. It started off with learning more about the mechanics of motorcycles. I got into it a couple of years ago, and I wanted to know more about why and how and mechanics of the engine, and why are things doing what they're doing, and what's the reason for this and the reason for that. And came to Milwaukee and met my mentor now, Eric Lund from Graybeard Motorcycle Service. And what a better place to build a Harley Davidson and build a chopper than Milwaukee, and with Eric. He's just so knowledgeable, and just has so much experience, and he's very, very calm and relaxed and smart and creative. And we not only are working on my bike, but we're working on others as well. So I've gotten the chance to know very, very, very little to learning a lot more about why things are working. So I get to work on my bike, other people's bikes, and that's part of the reason why I was late to your
Oh,
because I had to go pick up a part for my bike. So it's something that I'm into. And yeah, we're diving in deeper. We're almost finished getting my bike ready for paint, but we're at that point in the bike process, the building process, where I'm building everything. When I say everything, I mean literally. We've making the sissy bar, all the spacers for the rear end, the axle adjustments. So we're making just every piece that's on the rear end of this motorcycle I've had to make, because it's not like I can just order it online. I have to make these pieces and brackets and what have you. So that's where we're at right now, and I'm having a great time. It's been very nice to step away from things, because me trying new things, like we talked about earlier, especially with motorcycles, I think it kind of opened my mind to lots of things that are available to me out there. And I'm learning not only about motorcycles, but it's also teaching me a lot about people. I've met some great people. I've met some people that will be friends for the rest of my life. And, I have a desire to just hit the road and go riding. And there's something in that is undescribable. It's indescribable. It's undescribable. It's all that. It's just very much like, it's just something happens, something clicks. And when you're on a bike, you're in it. Everybody knows that it just takes me away. It puts me in a great place, and I really enjoy it. So I have found that it's given me a lot of peace, and it's really helped me hone in some of the things that I want to do musically as well. They're all tied together.
yeah. Did you start building your own bike around the time you started learning how to do this? Like, did you just start there, or did you wait till you had learned a few things?
No, I went right into it.
Yeah.
I wanted to learn, and so I figured the best way to learn was just to take a bike apart. So I got my 2003 Sportster. I bought it. It was a fully functional bike. Only had a few thousand miles on it, and had it for about 3 days. And then I just ripped it all apart and started diving in. Then went to Eric and said, "Hey man, I want to do this and do that." And he goes, "Okay, bring it over." So I brought the engine over, and we just ripped it apart and rebuilt it, and put a bore kit on it, and it's like everything. I've been inside of that engine. I know everything about it. And that's what I really wanted to learn, instead of just, throwing on a new seat or new handlebars or, new back tires or whatever it was going to do. I need to know everything, So that's where I'm at. So, took the engine out, cut the frame in half, put a different frame on it, everything on that bike. The only thing that's existing are the rims and the engine from where it was when I first got it, and the front end.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome. I can't wait for you guys to see it.
So are you going to continue to share clips with us?
Oh yeah. I've got some stored up here. As you can tell, I don't just release things like as they're happening. Sometimes I feel like I have to get a collection of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a time-consuming process, and it's taken more time than I actually thought it was going to take, because I'm not there full time. I'm a touring musician, I'm not able to just work there 9 to 5. And we've got other things we're working on too. So I'm hoping to have it here done sooner than later, but we're only a few, I would say probably, we're probably a few months away, just because of touring coming up and things like that. So
Sounds good. We'll
It's
look
gonna be
forward to
badass.
that. Well, you recently did something motorcycle related that was really lovely, which is the Gentleman's Ride.
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit about that. I believe you started this a couple years ago. Your
Yeah,
first.
so it's with my first bike, I got a Triumph, and with the Gentleman's Ride, it's exactly that. It's you get a chance to, dress up, looking dapper. Most people are riding vintage bikes, Royal Enfields, Triumphs are very popular with those motorcycles. There are some Harleys involved as well, but it's a lot of sidecars and Urels and just vintage classic cafe style bikes, if you will. So, and it's a great ride. It's for, it has to do a lot. Well, everything has to do with the Gentleman's Ride is men's mental health and physical health and things like that. So it's in collaboration with Movember. So it's just a great way to give back to, guys, men, and get on motorcycles and meet a bunch of people. I did the ride in Nashville and where I live, met a lot of new people, and it was a real fun, real well organized ride. So yeah, I'll be doing that next year, like we talked about earlier. As long as the
Yeah.
tour allows me to, I'll be there.
That's great. Yeah, I loved seeing the pictures that you shared, and I've seen a couple of other folks share them. Everybody does look dapper. I will tell you, dapper is the right
So
word.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, you just reminded me of something because I did get a link about that particular ride, and all the photos came in. So I have to go and order a couple so I can share them.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I could be wrong, but I think we can still contribute to your ride if we want to, because I know I contributed before and after
Yeah,
your
you can
ride.
still
So
try. I don't know
yeah,
when it ends. I don't know if it's this month or next month, but I
okay.
do think they still are taking donations.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, if I find that they're still taking donations when this video goes up, I will link that below, and then
Yeah.
you can donate on behalf
Okay.
of Chuck.
Thanks. Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. All right, Chuck. So we are gonna wrap up. I hate to see you go, but
I know you wanted to dive in
I
deep.
wanted to dive so
There
deep.
was like 90 minutes she asked for. I said,
Yes. Oh, trust me, I got 90 minutes. I got 90 minutes for you.
no. Hey, well, anyway, I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you do for all of us, Beasto and myself. You're wonderful on social media. You're sharing everything. You're getting the word out there. We need people like you. Um, rock and roll metal is just one big happy, misfit family. And I'm really glad to meet you, and I really appreciate your support.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on, and I'm really honored to have you on. I'm so excited
Yeah.
about not only the Alice tour, but the Beasto stuff. I'm excited to see what it is. It's like a big old surprise, like when you get in a present, and
Yeah.
it's not necessarily what you told them to buy you, but it's
Yeah,
something you want.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. And it is that way for us too, just so you know. It's like I told you earlier. It's exciting for us to release this record for everybody, and for our existing fans and for our new ones,
Sounds good. Well,
Yeah.
to everybody at home, thank you for joining us. Make sure you are following me and Chuck and Beasto Blanco on all the platforms. They will all be listed below, as well as if the Gentleman's Ride is still accepting donations for this year, we will put that there as well. So thank you so much for watching. And Chuck, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Chuck Garric of Beasto Blanco and Alice Cooper. Make sure that you like this video, make sure that you subscribe, and don't forget to leave a nice comment for me and Chuck. I also have some other really incredible interviews with some really notable guests. Most recently, Kane Roberts, also formerly of the Alice Cooper Band, and a few other really incredible people from season 3, and a whole lot of interviews from previous seasons. So make sure you check those out. Make sure you share them with your friends and let everybody know about MetalNet TV. I will be talking to you soon. Take care and much respect.